The Lakers making moves of their own, adding Andre Drummond. Stephen A., where did he go to college? Can't remember.
I can't either.
Was it Columbia?
Whatever.
Oh, no, wasn't Columbia.
Drummond was posting 17 and 13 per night this season. You know what it is. Max, what do you think Drummond means to the Lakers?
It means, look, AD's got to come back. You can't just not. But AD doesn't have to be 100%. Now they're going to get out of the West. And part of that's going to be because what happens over the next month. This Lakers squad did not have enough to win very many games, as we could see, right? Schroeder is their best player by far, and they just don't have enough firepower to win. And LeBron and AD are going to be out for a while longer. What Andre Drummond can do in the meantime, guys, he's probably going to average, just walking onto the club, 20 and 15, right? Something like that, because where's the scoring going to be from?
At least 15.
Yeah, he grabs a lot. So, I know advanced analytics can tell you, but his impact on the game is limited because of X, Y, and Z. But he can play basketball. He's good at basketball, and he's big. So you have not a 7-footer, but somewhere in that area of a guy who can score and rebound and help keep your head above water while you're waiting for the superstars to get back. That'll improve their record. And then, when they do get back, Drummond either gives you great minutes as a backup 5, or you play AD at the 4 with Drummond at the 5, and you have twin towers. The Lakers will get out of the West, provided AD's at least 80% of what he normally is.
I totally agree in that regard. Let's understand something. Andre Drummond is a career 13.8 rebound per game player. 13.8 for his career. For his career. I'm looking at his numbers, Max. This dude has been in the league 10 years. The only time he has not averaged double digits in rebounds is his rookie year. The only time.
He messed around and get you 17 boards a game.
This dude is a rebounding machine. And so when you look at it from that perspective, and a career 53.8% shooter from the field, shot about 49% for in his 2 years with the Cavs. But, he plays around the basket. He ain't trying to take jump shots or anything like that. Rebounds, putbacks, that's what his specialty is. So when I look at it from that perspective, and your primary offensive players is LeBron James, along with Anthony Davis, and you're kicking it out to shooters, and you have a guy like this dude who's capable of giving you cleanup duty. And oh, by the way, of the 13.8 rebounds he's averaged in his career, Max, offensive rebounds, 4.7. 4.7. Right. So you're talking about a guy that extra possessions cleans up. That's a huge, huge deal, particularly when you consider the number 1 team in the West right now is the Utah Jazz with Rudy Gobert. When you've got that as a consideration, when you've got the Joker as a consideration in Denver, when you've got Nurkic coming back and what have you, if you've got an additional big body, somebody who's physical and prioritizes rebounds, and getting you extra possessions, and more importantly, limiting other teams from getting possessions because he's snatching those boards, that puts more pressure on opposing offenses to be more efficient against the Los Angeles Lakers, coached by Frank Vogel and his elite staff, whether it's Hollins and Phil Handy and the rest of the crew and Lionel Hollins and those boys. The bottom line is you look at the Los Angeles Lakers, and I definitely think the acquisition of Drummond secures them coming out of the West for this season, assuming that Anthony Davis is going to be about 80% or better.
Especially after Denver makes a move, and there are other teams that make moves. But there's another way to look at it that's kind of like from a broader perspective. The Lakers didn't have enough starting caliber players.
Yep.
They have 2 superstars, Schroeder, and no one else is really a starter. KCP is not quite a starting caliber player. Mm-hmm. He doesn't do any one thing well enough to start, right? There's a lot of things well enough to come off your bench. Kuzma's not a starting quality. He's a rotation piece for sure.
Right.
I'm not dissing him. He can play,
right,
but he's not a starter in the league. Drummond's a starter in the NBA. Yeah. And Schroeder's a starter. Now, all of a sudden, you look at the Lakers and you go, it's not just that they have 2 super-duper stars.
Right.
They have other guys who are starting caliber in their rotation. Montrezl Harrell.
Here's what makes it interesting. They're sending a message. You're not beating us in the interior. You're not doing anything against us. If you're going to beat us, it's going to have to be from the perimeter. Yep. Now, we look at the Clippers. For the most part, they're a perimeter team. We look at Phoenix. We look at Utah because of their ability to shoot threes, even though you got Royce O'Neal and Rudy Gobert anchoring their defense on the perimeter and in the interior. Offensively speaking, even though Rudy can give you something, they're primarily a shooting team. You're going to have to be able to hit perimeter shots in order to beat the Lakers. I don't believe that's going to be enough to beat LeBron James and Anthony Davis unless you are Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving. So that is the only shot, as far as I'm concerned, that anybody's going to have to take out the Lakers.
Yeah, like what someone brought this up. I'm trying to remember who it was on the radio, my radio show, Max Kellerman Show, 2 p.m.
Yes,
Eastern.
2 p.m. Eastern
ESPN
time.
Radio. Yes,
2 to 4, right? 2 to 4 Eastern time, right?
That's right.
Okay,
yes. LeBron and AD cause such matchup problems for everyone because you take a guy, you mentioned Royce O'Neal, excellent defender, right?
Excellent.
The problem with LeBron and Rudy Gobert, the problem with LeBron and AD is that's not a matchup for LeBron and AD. These dudes are 6'8" and 6'11", and like you need O'Neal to be 6'9" or 6'10", and you need 2 of them against the Lakers. The Drummond move is a strong move post-deadline for a team like the Lakers to make. I think it solidifies them in the West.
Get it. Drummond has 44 20-20 games, guys, 29 more than anyone else since he entered the league. The Lakers did drop to 4th in the West right now over the weekend. We got plenty more to come.
They didn't want to take, they're a big team known for scoring a lot in the paint and, calling a lot of heavy with driving, and then finding somebody down low on the baseline. So we really just wanted to pack the paint and make sure that, we make them kick it out and then we close out to a 3-point line.
And Trez, just before the game, we heard that Andre Drummond is going to be joining the mix. Just wonder what you saw between battles you guys have had over the years and what he might add to you.
He's a strong, solid player, man, on both ends of the floor, man, offensively and defensively, high caliber blocking shots, defensive rebound, offensive in the face of the load, guy gets down in the lane and demands his position, and, you can't miss him, man. He's a big, dominant presence, and it's definitely going to be a good, breath of fresh air to having him come on the lineup. I think he's eager and ready to go and ready to get out there. That's just a great attitude that anybody can have coming to this organization. So we can't wait for him to get here, and we're going to welcome him with open arms and hopefully just continue to keep what we're doing well right now.
What happened to your knee? It looked like you were shaken up a little bit, and obviously able to stay in the game, but you just kind of let me know what happened.
It's one of those plays, kind of like a funny one on the elbow. Got to go baseline real hard. I wear a pad on that knee, but he, knee me literally right behind the pad. So it was kind of one of those things where, I kind of felt like a tingling sensation going to my leg and kind of just went on for a little minute. But it's like I said, it's one of the funny bone type things. I'm fine, but definitely so it scares you when it happens that first point of contact.
I'll do. Hey Trez, you're talking about Andre and sort of how he's fired up. I guess it sounds like you've been able to talk to him. What has your communication been like with Andre kind of leading up to him joining the team?
I'm not even going to lie to you about that. I haven't talked to him, honestly, man. This is just more so coming from, the reports and just from our, DM, Rob, speaking highly of him in this conversation with him, man. So, just looking at things like that, man, you just see a guy who's ready to go. And then just in general, of me being a player and understanding this position, man, this guy's been sitting for, 2.5 months almost. He hasn't played the game that he loves, and he's able to, be able to call his job. And anybody will be eager to get back out there on the floor and be ready to get out there. Basically, it's one of those things just speaking from, a player's perspective.
Laura?
Hey, Trez, Frank said before the game that, when it comes to a situation like this, when bringing in a player, that they also over-communicate with, like a guy like yourself who plays in the same position. Do you have a sense of how bringing Andre in could affect your role, affect the big man rotation, and what's going to be different going forward?
No, I haven't thought about that. It's not something for me to think about. It's not in my control. It's not something that, I make decisions on. People, us in general, everybody, human beings, we spend a lot of time wondering about things that we can't control, that we don't have any, basically any control on, man. So everything that you just mentioned is everything comes from the top office and our coaching staff. It's nothing to do with me. I'm going to continue to keep playing the way that I play, bringing the energy that I bring, and just helping my teammates feed off it. We got a great player in Andre Drummond who is going to definitely help our team on both ends of the floor and help our organization overall. But it's not something that I kind of wrap my mind on or jump in my head for a million questions, because at the end of the day, I don't have the answers to them.
Steve, look, I know you want that top of the three, that top of the key three back, okay?
Shit. That was supposed to be the ice. That was the Robert Horry shot.
Hey, you held on for the win, though, nonetheless, in this case. It did get a little icy down the stretch, but what's the importance of just finding a way to win 2 games in a row now is keep trying to stack wins without LeBron?